Hi there, and welcome back, my friends, to Kingdom Come Deliverance. We have a lot to talk about with our father, and we'll see about
I'm
that.
getting a bit lost in the Luxembourg lineage. It all seems a bit too tangled.
The Luxembourgs have ruled the Empire and Bohemia for almost 100 years now. Emperor Charles brought this land to prominence. When he was in power, things had never been so good. Wenceslas and Sigismund are his sons, but by different mothers. Jobst and Prokop are their cousins. They were entrusted with governing Moravia, but instead, they've been in a bitter armed feud for years.
Oh, they as well.
And now Sigismund's fallen out with Wenceslas. Wenceslas also had another brother, the youngest, John of Görlitz, who was most probably poisoned. They seem like a hot-blooded lot. It's hard to keep up with their affairs, since they tend to change their alliances from one day to the next.
And who's Jobst?
Who is he really, this Jobst?
The cousin of King Wenceslas? He's the Margrave of Moravia. I admit I don't know what to make of him myself. Until recently, he was allied with the League of Lords. For a time, he even served Rupert of the Palatinate against the king. And now suddenly, he's reversed his position. I don't know what led him to do it, and one can't help being suspicious. It's best to keep a watchful eye on him, but he really is the leader of the resistance against Sigismund these days. We'll just have to see how it all turns out.
Yeah, it's crazy that we're on a mission in the epilogue.
I'm a bit concerned so many people seem to think so little of King Wenceslas. You knew him, didn't you? What's he really like?
Well, there's no straightforward answer to that question. He certainly makes a great hunting and drinking companion, but he can be very fiery and impetuous when things don't go how he'd like them. He never had much of a head for high office. He finds it tiresome. But once a man's grasped the scepter, it's hard to let it go again. You can't just abscond. You've seen for yourself what happens when he disappears for a few months. Better a bad but legitimate king than a bloody war over the throne.
True words. And Prokop?
Who is this Prokop that Jobst spoke of?
Jobst's brother, the king's cousin. He and Jobst warred over Moravian supremacy for years. Then they were allies for a while, betrayed Wenceslas and sided with Rupert of the Palatinate. But after Sigismund
These
abducted
noble politics.
Prokop fomented a revolt against him, and Sigismund had him captured. Politics. Make of it what you will. I, for one, can't make head or tail of it most of the time.
And the League of Lords, where we have to
The
go.
League of Lords and that Berghoff we're off to see. Who are they exactly?
The lords of the powerful houses. Heinrich of Rosenberg, Otto of Berghoff, Heinrich of Radetz, and others. They're unhappy with the way their influence declined after Wenceslas surrounded himself with the lesser orders of nobility. They abducted the king years ago and made him bow to their will. They got away with it that time, and now they've joined forces with Sigismund and done it again. But now it seems that Sigismund's behavior is starting to rub them up the wrong way, so they may well be thinking twice. We'll see what Berghoff has to say.
Indeed. And Sigismund?
I don't know all that much about Sigismund.
You
He's
know
the
him
king's
too?
younger brother and king of Hungary in his own right. 7 years ago, he led a crusade against the Turks and was defeated at Nicopolis. Some say it was due to the recklessness of the French knights, most of whom were mercilessly slaughtered. Sigismund is ambitious and capable. He might well make a better ruler than Wenceslas, but he's arrogant, and to our misfortune, brutal. Not long ago, he himself was held captive by the Hungarian nobility. They dislike him as much as some of the Czech and German noblemen do his brother Wenceslas. Ironically, Wenceslas joined forces with Jobst to liberate him, and now this is how Sigismund repays his brother. There's no doubt about it, God does move in mysterious ways.
Crazy. So that Rupert.
Rupert of the Palatinate. That's a name I hadn't heard before today.
Rupert is the Prince Elector of the Palatinate.
What's a Prince Elector?
Oh god, a Prince
The Prince
Elector.
Electors are dignitaries of the Holy Roman Empire who have the right to elect the King of the Romans, who would then be crowned Holy Roman Emperor by the Pope. Rupert took the title for himself with the help of 3 other Prince Electors, even though Wenceslas had already been appointed.
Oh, crazy.
Some of the nobility in the empire recognized Rupert's claim, but when he went to Rome to be crowned emperor, it turned into a fiasco. Now he's doing his utmost to get Wenceslas to acknowledge him, but so far without success. So, Now we have two kings of the Romans. Jobst sided with Sigismund for a while, but now he switched allegiance. He seems to do that quite a lot.
And the young one?
That young man, Sir John of Liechtenstein. Why is he here?
The Liechtensteins are a powerful Austrian family with estates in Austria and Moravia. Sir John sits on Jobst's council. Since the king's being held captive in Vienna, I suppose it makes sense to have a powerful Austrian house as allies. It could be very useful.
Indeed.
That's about all.
Very well. Take the letter from Sir Hanush. And good luck, son.
Nice. Well, put that away. What about that townsman standing here?
How's it going?
See you later.
Why? We'll take the letter.
I believe we have written it well, gentlemen.
Without a doubt. No one could deduce from this whether we are Sigismund's allies or foes.
I must travel back to Brno now, but soon I will go to Brandenburg and I will stop here on the way back. By then, Sir Capon should be back and we can discuss how to proceed.
Right. Before you leave, my lord, there is one thing that gives me no rest. Why did Sigismund come as a foe? It makes no sense.
If I may, sir, I think I can explain.
Oh, please enlighten us, young sir.
I live not far from Hungary, where Sigismund reigns. It is a savage country, and the constant war with the Turks has hardened the people. They need a monarch with an iron hand. So when Sigismund felt the wind of revolt, he reacted as he would at home. Only what works on the Hungarian nobles does not work here in Bohemia.
Bringing order is one thing, but slaughtering and pillaging with a horde of barbarians quite another. What purpose does that serve?
But Sigismund did give the Bohemian nobles a chance to take his side. It was only when they refused his ultimatum that he lost patience and took to the sword.
As for the barbarians, he could afford nothing better. The Hungarian nobility would gain nothing from joining his campaign in Bohemia. He didn't have enough coin for a regular army, and so he recruited the Cumans. What he does not pay them, they make up for in plunder.
But in the end, he didn't have enough to even satisfy the Cumans. That's why he raided Kuttenberg and Skalitz. He wanted the silver.
That makes sense.
My lords, how's the letter coming along?
It's done.
Then we can be on our way.
Now remember what we said, boy. All you have to do is deliver the letter, listen to the answer, and come back here. Don't provoke Berghoff in any way.
Provoke? Me? Never, Uncle. We'll be back in a few days. Farewell, your graces. Come, Henry, my men are waiting.
I wish you Godspeed.
We got... you can end the game anytime by riding off the map with Sir Hans Capon's sword.
Come now, Hal. My men are mustered in the courtyard. We can get going.
Yeah, I believe we have done all we could.
Huh?
It's time for the final ride.
Down!
Certainly well enough, right? There's Bucephalus too. How do you do, my lord?
So, can we set off now, Henry?
There was one other thing.
There was one more thing I wanted to attend to.
I see. We'll go on ahead and wait for you in the camp at Neuhof.
I'll use the time for a hunt before we go. Very well. We'll meet up there as soon as I'm done.
One more thing. And that thing is gonna be... Yeah, we'll make it short. Ride to the Ratai Mill? Like, no.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Rather not a thing, right? Oh, look, so Capon's horse is not on anymore on that path. We need a bath now. Just a bath.
Greetings. What do you need?
I'd like to order something here.
Uh-huh. And what do you want?
Get myself fixed up a bit. Have a bath and get my clothes washed.
I'm sure you'll be extremely satisfied.
Nice. Horse. Well.
Yeah. Yeah.
Tess, are you here? Lord Capone wants to see you. No, not Lord Capone. Lord Henry. Lord Henry. Let's wait for a couple of... At least until 9, and then... We'll set out with Theresa one more time, and then... we'll go to Sir Hans. Talk to the Capone. You'd rather want to talk to Theresa. Good morning, my beautiful.
I've got something for you. I know this is your favorite.
It is indeed. Thank you.
Save your schnapps.
Wouldn't you like to take a stroll somewhere?
I'd love to.
Where will we go now? Oh. We haven't been here. At the tavern here.
Listen, Theresa. There's something I ought to tell you.
What is it? What's troubling you?
I'm not quite sure how to tell you, so I'll just spit it out. So Radzig Kobyla is... my father.
And King Wenceslas is my cousin. You really had me going.
No, I'm serious.
What? But, Henry, how on earth could...
I know. It was a shock for me, too. It turns out Sir Radzig and my mother had some... romance. Of course, he couldn't marry a commoner.
And your father? I mean the blacksmith. God, that sounds so odd. I mean Martin.
He knew Sir Radzig from way back. Martin... Pa married her before I was born. To protect her reputation. And raise me as his own.
And Sir Radzig allowed it?
Sure. Actually, I get a feeling the whole thing was agreed between them. Sir Radzig was glad she wasn't left alone with a child.
My God. Henry, that's just... And what will that mean for you?
I honestly don't know.
You don't know?
Well, it all depends on Sir Radzig, doesn't it? As his illegitimate son, I don't have any rights as such. But it's not like I've suddenly become a noble like Capon. And even though Sir Radzig has publicly acknowledged me, well, sort of, it hasn't really changed anything.
And if Sir Radzig decided to make a real noble of you, would you want that?
I will stay true to ourselves.
I
no.
wouldn't. And it's never going to happen anyway.
Why not?
A bastard remains a bastard. Even if Sir Radzig never had another heir, all his property would go to the king by rights.
You might be right, but can't you imagine it? Would you still care for me, a common millmaid, if you were a nobleman?
Yeah, we're different than Radzig.
Of course. I'll always be fond of you. Nothing will change that.
I'll remember that. I hope you won't regret those words.
No fear of that.
Henry sweet talking? No, probably not. The way we've behaved throughout all of this probably says that is true.
I must go, Henry. Take care.
And now we need to go to Neuhof. This time fast travel again, I think. It's just this epilogue of the epilogue has me going in a certain way. A little bit over the top epiloguing, even though I really like it. I'm at a point where I just...
Yeah.
And sometimes you get to a point where you just want to see how the story plays out, right? And this ending was a little bit dragged, so dragged out, that it has me wondering since quite a while how it will all end. Where is Lord Capon? Here.
Yeah.
Whoa. Oh, through the woods here. Oh, goodness. Well.
Yeah.
So, we have a true ride to complete it all. Being properly thrashed by the woods. Fighting with everything. Hey there. Is that you, Capon? No, that's a guard. We hungry? No. And now.
How about it, Henry? Can we go? Are you ready for this?
Sure.
Of course. At last I'll get to see more of the country and have a bit of an outing.
Quite. Let's get to it then. I finally have the feeling we're doing something worthwhile. We're helping to save the king.
Instead of saving his drunken majesty, I'd rather find that whoreson who murdered my parents, get the sword back from him, and skewer him with it.
Cheer up, Henry. I have a feeling you'll get your chance one day, and it won't be long in coming. Forward, men! Audentes fortuna juvat!
that is truly the end. Thank you for watching. Happy gaming to you. We'll see each other in another episode, maybe of a future RPG. Starting maybe in an episode of Crusader Kings. We'll see. So have a great time until next time, and happy gaming. Immanuel Khan, signing out. Thank you for being there the whole time. And until the end. Well, we can continue. What's going on there? Not even now, the end. See you, I guess.